Picture this. You're an obnoxious gay man working in the entertainment industry who wants to make movies about gay men because you're a gay man. So you make a movie about gay men where gay men are gay, and you wonder how many times can I say the word gay in a gay movie about gay men being gay before straight people walk out of the cinema. And then your gay movie flops, despite being a well-made gay movie about gay men being gay, because the gay jokes are too niche, too gay for straights to understand. And you blame the flopping of the movie on homophobes. Welcome to Bros. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Eric. I have a stutter and a vast experience of being gay in a non-gay world. And if you're not new here, what up homophobes? That's right, today we're all homophobes. Why? Because Billy said so. Let's talk about Bros, guys. One of the biggest flops of 2022, despite being an actually good movie. For what it is, a romantic comedy about two gay men who don't want to commit and fall in love. And there's a lot of gay shit happening, and in the background we get a bunch of more diverse characters who serve as props and plot devices to advance the struggles of a privileged white gay man whining about his successes. Now, if you're not in the loop, Bros did extremely poorly at the box office, despite receiving overwhelmingly positive reviews. Yes, even from the straights. Bros was directed by Nicholas Stoller, who co-wrote it with Billy Eichner. For those of you who don't know, Nicholas Stoller is a director known for his movies with edgy comedy and raunchy characters who aren't afraid to curse and cuss and be politically incorrect. Movies like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, The 5-Year Engagement, Neighbors, Neighbors 2. And Billy Eichner is known for harassing people on the street.
La La Land? No, you don't have to go to LA. It's just a movie about LA. Sweetie, don't babe me, okay? It's La La Land, a lot of Oscar buzz.
4 kids, I'm not watching TV, but...
Sweetheart, okay, it has Oscar buzz, and I saw Emma Stone do a Q&A, all right?
I don't know who you're trying to sass for a camera, but you got the right bitch to put you in a wrong place.
When the world needed her most, she was nowhere to be found. So, Bros follows two gay men allergic to commitment who fall in love. One of them is a boring, muscular, hot guy with a boring corporate job, and the other one is an obnoxious podcaster who wants everybody to know that Abraham Lincoln was in fact a gay man. Wait, is that true? Oh, apparently there's been speculation, historic speculation. Irregardless, Bros is an earnest look into the gay dating scene between a straight acting gay man who refutes femininity and a flamboyant gay man who uses his flamboyance as an excuse to be a jackass. You know, sometimes it's okay to be homophobic. But before we dive into the gayification of straight rom-coms, make sure to like this video so I know that you like gay shit. Subscribe to the channel so I know you support gay shit. And click that bell notification down below because I said so, please and thank you. Thank you. Meet Bobby, your designated white cis gay man, queer historian, and overall unlikable person. He's loud, self-centered, lacks basic manners, and will call you homophobic if you don't like him. He hosts a podcast show where he teaches queer history as well as his own problems and whatever he feels like talking about. These are his words, not mine. You know what? I'll admit it. I'm jealous that he has 1 million subscribers.
Turns out a 4-year-old didn't want to hear a bedtime story about Martina Navratilova.
Wait, isn't she like super transphobic? Oh, sorry, never mind. This isn't a movie about trans people. It's about gays. Carry on. But Bobby isn't just unlikable, he's also a cynic who alienates himself from his peers, only to blame them for their lack of patience dealing with his antics. There's a name for this kind of gay, I'm sure. Wait, it's coming. Oh, narcissist. Not only is he a podcaster, he's also a writer that Hollywood producers approached to tell him,
"We want you to write a rom-com about a gay couple. Something the whole world would enjoy. Something that a straight guy might even like and watch with his girlfriend."
Get it? Because he wrote this movie. It's a rom-com about gays, and in the movie he doesn't because he's against it. But Bobby is firm in his position. This whole love is bullshit. And was in fact a ploy to convince straight people to treat us fairly. Really? He says that?
That is a lie we had to make up to convince you idiots to finally treat us fairly.
Oh, wow.
And I got up and left.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen in real life, which is how we got here in the first place. Also, he's 40 and he's never had a relationship, which might explain his rudimentary understanding of relationships. The comedy in Bros is very gay. As in, if you're gay, you might laugh, and if you're straight, you might think the edibles you took in the parking lot half an hour earlier preparing for this movie are starting to kick in. What do you, as a heterosexual person, think of this clip with no context? And leave in the comments down below, please. I'm genuinely curious. Bobby is presented with the award for Cis White Gay Man of the Year. Get it? Okay, we're self-deprecating, we're self-aware. And he announces he accepted a position as an executive director of the first national LGBTQ+ museum, which intends to correct the sexual orientation of historical figures that have been portrayed as heterosexual. Wait, can I say the F slur? It's essentially a museum that serves as a big FU to the heteronormative society we live in. And if you don't like history, don't worry. You know, he's a gay man. I'm sure he'll build a darkroom for gay men to indulge in sexual escapades, all while their straight family members and friends are learning about Abraham Lincoln being a in the room next door. On a more serious note, yes, queer people's identities have historically been erased from history books, so this is actually a good idea. Not sure if having a gay man who makes a career out of whining and complaining as the executive director a good choice, but you know, get ready to have queer history shouted at you.
Here! There you go! Lincoln is back in the closet where you all need him to be!
Buckle up, straights, it's time for Grindr 101. So Grindr is this nifty little app. Think of Tinder, but with less swiping and a lot more sex. It's like going to a candy store, except instead of money, your currency are body standards impossible to attain unless you dedicate your entire life to the gym or take steroids. Now, gays waste no time getting down to business, so 3 to 4 messages are enough to get each other's sexual preferences, nudes exchanged, addresses, and a hookup time arranged. Following that, there's awkward sex that fulfills the physical needs but leaves an empty emotional void in your heart. A void that turns you into a despondent, single 40-year-old gay man with a podcast dedicated to complaining about being a single 40-year-old gay man. Now that would be me, except I'm not 40. I'm what they call ambiguously in his 20s. You know he's unbearably obnoxious and absolutely the worst person in the group when even the straights are more accepting of a throuple than he is.
So wait, what does that mean exactly? Like, are you guys just having threesomes or something?
Yes, polyamorous relationships are all about sex and greedy sexual people. You know, whoever made him the main character should be examined. Oh wait, it was Billy. Never mind. And I just want to clarify, I want to put this out there. I like Billy Eichner. I even met him one time at a New Year's party. I have a picture with him on my Instagram. If you want to see that, go follow me. I'm just kidding. I'll put it here. He was super nice, by the way. He's a really cool guy. You know who's not nice? Gus Kenworthy. Later that night at the club, we meet Aaron. Aaron is your typical straight-acting muscle gay who listens to country music instead of Mariah Carey, acts straight and speaks with a super deep voice, and makes me want to push Bobby off a cliff so I can snatch him away. Seriously though, Luke McFarlane, if you ever see this, ever, call me. I can make you happy in ways he could never. This is creepy. Okay. Also, he's an estate planner, which is a fancy way of saying he writes wills for people who like to think ahead. Which brings me to today's sponsor, the first one on the channel, that's right. Snap out of it! Do you struggle to plan your days? Do you lack structure in your life and often wonder where you'll be in a week, let alone 5 years? Do you wake up every day with a dreadful feeling that nothing you do or say matters and that life is meaningless, a cruel joke from God meant to punish you for things you haven't even done? Are we really doing this script? Are they sure they want me to say this? It doesn't feel right. It feels okay. Girl, same. Are you sure? Okay. Anxiety used to control my life, keeping me in a constant state of panic with no end in sight, until I started the Snap Out of It regime. Snap Out of It is a simple treatment meant to bring peace and order into your meaningless life that somehow got out of control once your youth ended and responsibility started. With Snap Out of It, life doesn't have to be hard. Are you poor? Struggling to pay bills and find fulfillment in your job that actually makes you want to experiment with toasters and large bodies of water? There are easier ways to go, girl. Snap out of it. Obsessing over a long life with absolutely no one to share the good and bad moments with? There are never good moments, girl. Snap out of it. Finding it difficult to call the airline that got your flights wrong, but dreading having to speak to a stranger who will most likely judge you because ultimately you made the mistake and, well, you are the mistake. You're always going to be the problem, girl. Snap out of it. And my favorite, do you feel depressed? Girl, me too. Snap the fuck out of it right now. Thank you, Snap Out of It, for sponsoring this video. Now, back to bros. I didn't even have an outfit change for this portion. I feel unprofessional. But we keep it pushing. Unless we're on the toilet, because that's how you get hemorrhoids. So Aaron and Bobby are at this club, and for some reason, Aaron approaches Bobby, and he speaks to him because he heard his podcast. And Bobby's reply straight away,
I hear you're boring.
and this is where we suspend our disbelief, because Aaron, for some reason, continues his conversation with Bobby, despite his grating personality. Bobby is that gay that complains that people don't respect him or accept his flamboyance or arrogant personality, while at the same time actively insulting every other gay man that somehow doesn't conform to his own standards of what an acceptable gay should be like. I've met this gay. I've been friends with this gay. They're as fun as they are annoying, and I gotta say that sometimes you just want to punch them in the face. But not today. Today, Bobby is speaking to this beautiful god. I mean, look at him. Look at him. If you ever just want to, like, talk or whatever, like, I'm here, you know, like, I can be your friend or whatever. Like, no pressure, dude. Call me, I'll make you happy, so happy. Also, Bobby isn't really doing himself any favors because when Aaron tells him he can't go home with him because Aaron's already previously agreed to go have sex with that hot couple over there, Bobby has kind of a little meltdown like you would if you were a super jealous, possessive partner.
Because I'm one of the smart ones, asshole. Oh, are you emotionally unavailable? No one's more emotionally unavailable than me. No one. I pride myself on that.
So this museum that Bobby's working in is struggling to find donors, mostly because this very diverse group of queer people can't seem to agree on what they want to actually showcase at the museum. Also, watch this movie purely for T.S. Madison. She's hands down the best thing about this movie. And I just wish she had had a bigger part. I'm sure we could have cut some of Bobby's lines along the way. He says a lot. A lot of it just doesn't register. It's really sad when a good movie makes the worst character on screen its main character and then has that same character show up in every plot line and almost every scene. And it's like, damn, you cannot get away from his whining. I understand that's probably the intention. He wants to, you know, it's an obnoxious, annoying gay man, something that we're not used to seeing. We're either used to seeing gay men die tragically, unhappy, or we see them being super flamboyant and single because they're basically fruity patooties. So to see a mixture of all of them in one, I don't know, it's surprisingly hard to swallow. And it's never hard to swallow with me. Okay, that was really disgusting. I'm so sorry. Now, Aaron has what I assume is a concussion because he goes out of his way to get Bobby's number, and then he texts him. Aaron, call your girlfriend. Say it's not her fault. To clarify, he's a fictional character. She was fictional in character inside of me.
10 years ago.
Stop swatting, you're gonna kill it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. It's on my neck.
If I say his acting is really bad, am I a homophobe?
The Hangover.
And you remember one of the first lines of that movie? Paging Dr.
See, I laughed at that joke. Does that make me homophobic? Can I no longer say the F slur?
Straight people love seeing us miserable.
No, they love seeing you miserable. After this entire day they spent together, they bump into Aaron's childhood friend, Joshua, another hunky-dory of a man, and he's with his girlfriend, and he's hot, and Aaron confesses that he had a crush on him when they were younger. Of course he did. Typical fucking gays, all going after people that look like they're twins. I don't look like Aaron, right? It wouldn't be weird if we, like, dated or whatever, like, right? Yeah, it'd be cool. Like, super cool. Yeah. It's like, dude, just call me. What are you waiting for? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Luke. In real life, I know you want... Okay, he's not going to want me after this. Fucking hell.
Well, like the bearded lady in The Greatest Showman, this is me.
Okay, never say that again. Like, ever, ever, ever. Aaron invites Bobby for a foursome, which again is very typically gay, and Bobby has another one of his rants.
Why did you text me if you didn't want to hook up? I'm not angry, I'm just honestly curious.
Or maybe he changed his mind after hanging out with you for an entire day. I mean, I wouldn't want to hang out with you for a minute. But they end up at the foursome together anyway. I mean, after all, they are gay men. Sluts at heart. And then Bobby even leaves Aaron with the other two guys and he kisses him goodbye in the mouth. It's so romantic, but they're not dating. It's just casually seeing each other. They're casually hanging out as gay friends. Speaking of friends, you know who's a lot nicer? Bobby's straight friends.
I bet he's as intimidated by you as you are by him.
Oh, that's so cute. No. His straight friend loves the idea that he's sort of talking to someone because I guess Bobby is a pariah that nobody really wants to hang out with. I wonder why. Again, the movie has given us zero clues as to why Bobby may be struggling with finding a partner. I think he's a delight. From the very short snippets of his podcast that we heard, we can hear the passion in his shouting. Aaron is super impressed by the hoity-toity circles that Bobby is in, but he does mention that the museum is kind of depressing because it's all about like the bad stuff that's happened to the community, right? Like how much we've had to fight and how much we've had to suffer and all the oppression. And Aaron suggests making it more interactive and fun, like Night at the Museum, something that his family loves. Guess what, guys? Aaron's childhood friend comes out as gay in an Instagram post citing Colton Underwood as his inspiration. You know Colton, right? It's that Bachelorette and Bachelor contestant, the one that got a documentary on Netflix talking about his journey as an attractive, privileged, white gay man coming out of the closet. A clever little PR stunt to cover the restraining order his ex-girlfriend filed against him for stalking and harassment. Guys, he just needed to come out of the closet in order to respect women. Love is love is love. Now we've arrived to the main conflict of the story. For the final wing of the museum, Bobby really wants to create the Lincoln Letters, a gay American love story. Apparently, historians have speculated on Abraham Lincoln's sexuality because he exchanged love letters and shared a bed with other men. Unfortunately for Bobby, this is a very risky move because there isn't actual tangible evidence enough to prove that Abraham Lincoln was gay. So it could be kind of dangerous to insinuate in a museum, a national museum, that Abe Lincoln was gay when you lack the evidence to prove it. And Bobby's explanation that, well, we weren't allowed to exist. Sure, great, but that doesn't change the fact that you don't have proof, Bobby. God damn it. Bobby and Aaron hang out again, this time at a park, and Aaron is looking at muscular hot dudes doing sports. So Bobby, in an attempt to pull his attention back to himself, starts wrestling him, starts hitting him, be like, I can be tough too. And that leads to them making out and then having very realistic, albeit awkward gay sex. And maybe this is where they lost the straight audiences, when they're fingering each other's mouths and licking each other's feet. And you know what? Maybe not everything needs to be shown. Maybe some things should be kept in private. It was funny, but yeah, maybe a bit much. See, gay men are just as out of touch with their emotions as straight men. They too have to be like, before they can actually genuinely hug, because if you, then you're not gay, you're being a burly man, like, I'm gonna get you, and then you cuddle like a fag. But don't worry, Aaron is truly gay. You know how I know that? Aside from the fact that he just had sex with a man?
When I was younger, I wanted to make little chocolates.
Anyway, they go to Provincetown. I think that's where, like, Fire Island is, right? They go there because Bobby needs to speak to an investor. He needs to pull in a bit more money to finish the exhibition, and invites Aaron, and Aaron goes with him. They're kind of sort of dating now, but they don't say they're dating because that's weird. That's gay. They have a meeting with this donor, played by Bowen Yang, who is great in this, by the way, and he also seems to be the only person impervious to Bobby's bullshit, but worry not. Aaron, hot, sexy hunk of a man Aaron, is there and persuades him to donate under one condition, that they make a haunted house of gay trauma a ride. And honestly, I'm down for the experience. I can't wait to relive my childhood traumas that made me fantasize about jumping off a really tall building every night before going to sleep. Yay! Memories, just whoa! Oh, I miss being a kid. A depressed kid. Towards the end of the day, Bobby has this long-ass monologue about how he was always made to feel inadequate, that people constantly told him that he was too gay and too flamboyant and that he couldn't do this and he couldn't do that. And so he got stuck in writing because he wanted to tell stories, he wanted to speak from his own experiences, and he decided to work really, really hard to prove everyone that ever told him he wouldn't amount to anything wrong. And eventually he did. He forced himself to have this confidence and to exude confidence until eventually it just stuck with him. And I understand completely that growing up as a flamboyant kid comes with its challenges, and I think we should not let this distract us from the fact that Bobby is still a awful person. Obnoxious as hell. Just rude, lax manners. Again, this man gets away with so much under the guise of, it's my personality. Well, maybe your personality sucks. You know how people say you should never change who you are, be your authentic self? Well, maybe sometimes it's okay to change a few things. Someone once said, if you ever put like a video online or like a TikTok, an Instagram reel, whatever, about someone or about a celebrity, just always do it thinking, what if they saw this one day? And if Billy Eichner sees this, Billy, I swear to God, I'm not hating on you, just hating on your movie. For fun. I liked it. But you know who didn't like it? The homophobes. They boycotted your movie. No, apparently, according to the numbers, it just failed everywhere. So that's great. And this monologue of Bobby, it really brings them closer. Aaron kisses him very romantically, and I guess they start dating. We see a quick little romantic sequence of months passing and them just dating and having fun until eventually, at a sort of Christmas party, they bump into Joshua. Remember Joshua, the one who came out inspired by Colton Underwood? Well, needless to say, Aaron wants to fuck Joshua, and it's pretty clear that Joshua wants to fuck Aaron too, and I want to fuck both of them. So call me. I'm here. I volunteer as a whole. Perhaps the most unrealistic part of the movie, but this is the first time that they actually discuss monogamy or lack thereof. And just like typical gays, they look at Josh and they're like, yeah, he's hot. So they kind of engage in a threesome that turns into an awkward foursome because there's this guy, Steve, trying to insert himself into the action. And it's honestly the funniest sequence of the entire movie. You have these three men making out, and then you have this other one like, can I please just boop, tap, and then he offers a massage, and it's a whole thing. It's really funny. But this encounter leads Bobby to confess to Aaron that although he thought he'd be okay with having an open relationship, he's actually not. Seeing Aaron involved with Josh made him feel uncomfortable, like he didn't like it, so they kind of agreed to be monogamous. And for a character that spends 2 hours criticizing heteronormative people, for him to jump into monogamy this quickly, unabashedly, I mean, talk about mixed signals, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, of all the gay couples that I've ever met, I could not name one that is monogamous. No, there was one that was monogamous, and they broke up after like 3 months. So there you go. But they're monogamous. And that leads me into my next section. Aaron's parents are visiting town for Christmas, and Aaron invites Bobby. You can tell that Aaron is slightly apprehensive, perhaps because Bobby is incredibly obnoxious and he tends to make everything about himself, even when the conversation has nothing to do with his own personal life. He always manages to insert some tidbit of like, oh, we don't have any gay this, or we don't have any gay that. We're tired of seeing straight couples. It's a very bad idea to invite Bobby because as we've seen from hearing him speak for more than an hour at this point, he's like a ticking time bomb. He's unpredictable and he's just gonna mess it up. And of course, Bobby spends the entire time complaining about everything being straight, made for straight people, and how there aren't enough queer characters. And I'm just like, I'm gay and I wouldn't want to hang out with him. Like, he just seems like a fun sponge.
For years they ignored us, then their audience got 10% less homophobic, so they decided we're a new demographic they can sell shit to.
Like, stop being annoying for 5 minutes challenge. Just try. It also probably doesn't help that Aaron's parents were like, oh, we invited Joshua. He's here. He used to play with Aaron. like they're trying to fix them both up. Aaron eventually asks Bobby to tone it down because he's being too much. And listen, that's fucked up. I'm no Bobby fan, right? I don't think anyone is. But if you choose to be with Bobby in a relationship, if you fall in love with him, then you have to kind of love who he is. And this is who he is. Unfortunately, he's just annoying. And to ask him to tone it down after the whole monologue that he gave him at the beach, saying that people kept telling him to tone it down and how that really negatively affected him his entire life, for Aaron to do this now is kind of messed up.
I just don't want them to get weirded out. I want them to have like a chill, normal time. I want them to like you.
No. You want Bobby to be masculine because you're uncomfortable with being gay, and he's being like gay. So it's like double uncomfortable. Guess where Bobby takes them to dinner, though? I'm flying! So Aaron's mother is a second grade teacher, which leads Bobby to bring out the fact that teaching queer history to kids is important, which I agree with. If you don't teach people about queer people as they're growing up, you don't teach them how to be accepting and respectful, but you're also then ignoring all of the queer kids who are already queer and they might not know it, and then they might grow up to hate themselves or struggle to come to terms with who they are. And Aaron's mom has a response that's very typical. She thinks that her students are too young because they're in second grade. And it's again this idea that exposing young kids to queer history, to gay people is somehow going to convert them, or it's like too adult for them. Tell me, why is it inappropriate for two children to learn that some men marry other men? Mind you, I'm not talking about teaching them about anal sex. I knew that men and women got married when I was younger, and I wasn't thinking about it in terms of sex. It was just like a man and a woman enter a relationship, that's it. So this idea that it's inappropriate to teach kids about queer stuff stems from the idea that some people see being gay, being queer, being trans as degeneracy. Some people reduce the queer community to sex, to the sexual acts they have. Some people hear, let's teach kids about gay people, and all they think of, oh, okay, they're going to teach them how to have anal sex and how to take PrEP. Like, no, that's not what we want to teach kids, but that's all you see us as because of your narrow view of what it is to be queer. So I kind of agree with Bobby on this stance that he takes, but Bobby, of course, goes overboard and he makes up this story where his parents took him to a play when he was 7, and there were 12 naked gay men on stage, and he was looking at 12 penises, and it was all cool. He's obviously overplaying the idea that I was just mentioning, that straight people that are against teaching young kids about this see this as just teaching kids about gay sex when it's not that. So this scenario that he creates, as uncomfortable as it is, it's very effective because that's exactly what they were thinking he was talking about when it wasn't. But he goes overboard and he does that on purpose, and Aaron kind of loses it.
Aaron, you hate your life?
I love him, whoever she is. Look at her. She's giving it her best. Wow! Now, Aaron obviously is pissed off and he ditches Bobby to go meet Joshua at a bar, and Bobby follows him and catches them in an alleyway sort of wrestling and making out. Gosh, like, long live the mask for mask gays who wrestle in alleyways and make out like real burly men. Anyway, Bobby's insecurities come up and he believes that Aaron just doesn't feel attracted to him. And then he points to the fact that Aaron asked him to tone it down, which is incredibly fucked up considering Bobby gave him the entire speech at the beach, again, about being told to tone it down his entire life. And they kind of break up. This is really sad. And then Bobby takes steroids and goes out on a roid rage when they cancel the exhibition because donors pulled their investments. Guess why? Because there's not enough proof that Abraham Lincoln was gay. There's something really camp about seeing a cis white gay man, arguably the most represented demographic of the queer community, having a meltdown over the lack of gay representation when there's trans people in the room.
Maybe the final wing should be a big empty room where people can go to just shut the f*** up.
T.S. Madison, if you ever see this, I just want you to know I love you. Bobby then butches it up to pick up a guy at the gym, which kind of works.
Yeah, sure, bro. Yeah.
But then he realizes that he didn't have to butch it up.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'll give you my number.
Holy shit, dude. What happened to your voice?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I would 100% call the police immediately. And sometime later, Aaron sees Bobby at a bar and they speak, and Aaron apologizes to Bobby for asking him to tone it down. It was fucked up of him to ask him that. And Bobby also apologizes because he was indeed like being significantly more obnoxious on purpose because Aaron asked him to tone it down. But ultimately, they don't get back together because Bobby simply doesn't trust Aaron. He doesn't think that Aaron is attracted to him. He doesn't think that Aaron would genuinely want to be with him on a physical level when there's so many hot gay men that he could go for. I'm here, Aaron. I will take care of you in your dreams. I will give you my whole humiliation kink. Humiliation kink.
But if for some reason underneath all that strength and confidence you still don't trust that you are lovable enough, I'm living proof that you're wrong.
Oh my fucking God. I'm dripping. I'm soaked. I'm sitting in a puddle right now. And so they go on their third act rom-com spiritual journey of healing. Bobby apologizes to his coworkers, who he screamed at, and it all ends well. Meanwhile, Aaron starts rethinking his life choices and decides to quit his job and dedicate himself to making chocolates. He even creates some box designs to celebrate the museum's opening. And eventually, opening night comes, and the museum's opening is a smashing success. Bobby is professionally fulfilled, but emotionally longing for Aaron. And with a small push from a straight friend, he texts Aaron, "Hey, what's up?" Meanwhile, Aaron's brother is crashing with him because he's going through a divorce, and they realize that they don't actually talk like brothers should. They don't really talk about their personal lives or anything. They finally open up and start talking about family members should and start bonding, and they talk about Bobby and how what Aaron said was fucked up, but also that he loves him and that he should probably, try again. So when Aaron receives the text, his brother tells him to run to Bobby and tell him how he feels, that he doesn't have to try and mimic straight relationships. He can go to Bobby and they can make their own rules.
What's up with you in the CrossFit every day? Jesus, what are you people all training for? You going to war?
Yeah, he's getting ready to destroy some ass. Aaron arrives at the museum just as Bobby is giving a speech on stage because, again, give the cis white man some time. And they see each other, they lock eyes, and Bobby decides to do it. Do what, you ask? Sing a cheesy song that he wrote about Aaron. Ooh. It's actually very sweet. Aaron cries as we see flashes of their time spent together throughout the movie, and I genuinely forgot how awful Bobby actually is, and I started rooting for them. Interesting, eh? Music makes everything better. And so they kiss and they profess their love for each other in front of everyone, and they agree to date each other for 3 months, at which point they will reassess. 3 months later, and Aaron's mother actually takes her students to this museum, and she admits that she was wrong. This is indeed educational and important for kids to learn. Who knew that gays were more than butt sex and blowjobs, eh? And now that 3 months have gone by, they reassess their relationship and they decide to stay together. And then Aaron mentions kids and the movie ends in, oh my god, no kids. And that's it. They have a happy ending. Bobby and Aaron end up together, and I guess everybody deserves a happy ending, regardless of how obnoxious and annoying and mean they are. But all in all, this is genuinely a good movie. It is. However, some things I would have changed. I would have given Bobby less airtime because it was a lot. It was a lot. I would also have made him slightly more likable because we get it. You don't want to have like a perfect protagonist in this film. That's fine. But do you have to make him so hateful, so easy to hate, so unlikable, lacking any redeeming qualities? Like, do you have to go so overboard that then no one connects to the movie? And I would have probably given more airtime and developed a bit more the supporting characters at the museum, because I feel like there's a lot of stories there that we didn't get to even touch on that would have made this movie potentially much better. But all in all, it was a good one. And next time that Hollywood decides to fund another rom-com with gay men at the forefront, maybe get someone else to do the marketing for you, or maybe get someone else to be the star of it. But yeah, bros, that was it. That was broing it up, straight dudes. Whew. I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for being on that side, for tuning in and letting me vent. If you like this video, of course, you know what to do. You're going to like the video, then you're going to subscribe to my channel, and then you're going to click the bell notification. You're going to comment down below. You're going to send this to your friends and see, hey, have you seen this? Also, you're going to follow me on my social media, Eric Silvercy on Instagram and Stutterbox on TikTok, because I'm hella funny there. So yeah, do that and see you next time. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, stay stupid, and stay stuttering. Bye, guys.